So tell me about, we were talking about like kind of finding your path and your thing. So what does that look like for you right now? What kind of things are you exploring?
Right now, so when I joined Archangel, I started going there in 2017 summit. It was eye-opening for me
Mm,
because until that moment, all my career was geared towards making money.
mm,
So my first career was in pharmacy, and I picked it for the wrong reason of stable job.
mm-hmm.
So that's how I got into it, and I soon learned that that's something that doesn't resonate with me. So I got out of it, and then I am still in a commercial real estate asset management field. So I'm also wrong reason for picking my career. So
Mm,
I still love what I do,
mm-hmm.
but it was mostly driven by the financial
Mm-hmm.
reasons. So when I started meeting these people who are mission driven to help make the society better,
Mm-hmm.
I love the definition of Giovanni's billionaire. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, helping billions of people in the lifetime. I'm like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I'm like uh, starting to see the new meaning in life,
Mm,
and so that kind of got me into spirituality and different field that I never really looked at before. So last 3 years has been a very great journey for me because now when my if my reality was like this narrow before, now I'm like starting to see go out of my box and see
yes.
more beyond. So right now I'm also looking for the path and what's my true calling,
Mm-hmm.
what it means, how can I serve people, like how I could help people and serve people. It's the questions that I've actually never asked myself before.
Mm,
I was like goal driven, and if you give me a job, I get it done.
yes.
But I never really thought about how I could contribute more and do more
Mm,
meaningful work. So Archangel, there are so many great people out there doing wonderful things, and they're just giving and lovely, and like it's wonderful. So that's why I decided to join the MBA group and
mm.
kind of figure my path out.
Hmm. And tell me about when you were in pharmacy and you were feeling
Yeah.
like you were maybe not on the right path or you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, what did that feel like for you, and what were some of the things that you thought about?
Um, I I felt like instead of focusing on actually like building the relationship with patients, I was in a very busy community pharmacy where I was doing 400 prescriptions a day, which means you're literally a factory. Like you have to
Mm-hmm.
get things done and like do it. So I kind of felt like a machine. I
Mm,
felt, and then a lot of times I'd be counseling on the same thing over and over again throughout the day. Allergy season would be whole allergy medications. Like cold season, I'm counseling on antibiotics. How to take it 50 times a day. It's just repetition of the work. So I couldn't really find satisfaction at the end
mm-hmm.
of the day. It's like I didn't make any change in anyone's life. So that
Mm,
was the tough part in pharmacy. So paycheck was good, but
mm.
then at the end of the day, 40%, 50% of it gets taken out by the government. And it's like, why did I do all this work for?
Yes.
Right. And then, yeah, so it was just like constant battle of like, is there any more meaning to it? But I never really thought about, I didn't have any guidance to like how to think outside of that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I just
Amazing.
decided to get out.
So what kind of things like come to mind for you when you're thinking about an impact and what you want to do next? So, like, what kind of ideas do you have, or if any, or like, yeah, give me some hints, or have you had any hints?
So when if I can quickly share this story,
Hmm.
what happened in Archangel event in LA was I met a great friend and mentor, and I told him like I feel very lost because I've already gone through two career changes,
Hmm.
and I feel like I'm totally lost and wasting my time. And he said, Lina, do you know where you need to be at the end of your life? And I said, no. And he's like, well, if you don't know where you need to be, why do you think you're lost? you are exactly where you need to be, and that's
Hmm.
the place where you need to be. And if you look back in life, you're going to be able to connect all dots,
Yes.
and you will know. So just have trust that you are where you need to be, and have patience, because things will work out for you. So that was a huge moment for me. And since then, instead of trying to figure out what I need to do in the big picture, because that I don't have an answer to, but I started doing things that I can do immediately.
Hmm.
So I was like, I kind of want to learn to articulate myself a little better. I want to be able to, I want to write better. So I signed up for Seth Godin's creative writing course.
Hmm.
So it's 100 days of showing up every day, write every day.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter if you have great ideas or whatever, just show up and write. So I started that, and it today is my day 18, and that 18 days has been so wonderful. I can't even describe how wonderful that was. And then I also signed up for the public speaking course as
Oh,
well. So
cool.
yeah, so I'm kind of doing things that I define as something that wasn't me. I defined that public speaking is never for me, and I never even experienced that path, and now I'm doing it. So yeah, so I'm just doing small things that I can do one at a time, not trying to see the final big picture at this moment, and that's my way of trying to find my own
Yeah, I
path.
love that. I just heard something today about like there is no opportunity that anyone else could give you that will be greater than the opportunity you give yourself when you just take some small steps every day. And
Yeah,
it's so hard to not be attached to what like the big vision is and to think, you know, and focus on what's in front of you. But I think that's so important. What kind of results or like how has the writing class been going? What have you found in your own style, or like what have you learned through the daily practice of writing?
I found out that there's so many stories that I had that I didn't know I had. Um, Seth Godin usually gives prompts like 3 times a week and makes you give you kind of things to talk about. And it's not just me writing, but you people in the group come visit my blog, and they give me feedback, questions, and we go back and forth. And um, through the process, you just learn to think and actually learn to hear what has been inside you that you weren't aware of. And then there are so many aha moments where people just ask you a simple question based on something you wrote, and you're like, aha, and then like you connect the dots, and then you have more things to write about the next day. So I was like, what do I write about for the 100 days? So it's
Hmm.
2 part, 100 days of writing anything and then answering the prompt. And then the daily writing part, I'm like, will I have anything to write? And now
Hmm.
I'm like, I have so many ideas that I want to write,
Cool.
and I have to pick one each day.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah,
Because it's like the
that,
more, I would imagine, is it like the more you write, the more ideas you have?
yeah,
Yes. So
exactly.
it's like a
Yeah,
cycle. Cool.
yeah,
Cool. Well, I'd love to, before we wrap up here, I'm curious,
yeah.
what would you say is the thing that you most need help with right now?
Um, people or people who have more experience that can ask me thought-provoking questions
Hmm.
so that I can think outside of my regular thought patterns
Hmm.
and see the world with the new glass. Everyone wears their filter glass, like their glasses, and see the
Hmm.
world through that filter. So I just need someone to point that out and challenge me to think differently.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's pretty much
Okay.
it.
And where can people find you online or get in touch with
um,
you?
I'm part of the Archangel Facebook group, so that's
Perfect.
gonna be the easiest way.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And I want to say thank you as well for your first interview. I know you mentioned, I don't know if you wanted me to say this, but I am. So
Yeah,
I think it's a brave thing to do just to put yourself out there on camera. And you know, we haven't, you and I haven't spoken before either, so who knows what was going to
Yeah.
happen. And um, congrats to you for taking those daily steps that make you feel like a little uncomfortable, even though it's, you know, hard. So thank you. This has
Yeah.
been incredible, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.